Tonight, we take a look at international tea
and Chinese culture. Stay tuned. TrojanVision News starts now.
From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to TrojanVision News for April 3rd, 2015. I'm Samantha Kocan.
And I'm Jordan Elston. Thank you for joining us this evening. Troy University is home to a large number of students from other countries, and every few weeks some of those students get the chance to share their culture with their American neighbors using a beverage common to most of us. Brittany DeBose gives us a look.
Thursday night, Troy students gathered in Hale Hall for Tea for Troy, where students from different countries came together to discuss the importance of tea in their home country.
Tea for Troy is a international student organization that tries to connect Americans and internationals through the commonality of tea. We have a different country come in every single time and share how the importance of tea in their culture, and then afterwards we try to play the games and connect internationals and Americans.
Tea for Troy is a bi-weekly meeting where a new country is discussed to the group about how tea has an impact on their culture. This week, the country discussed was Russia.
Russian tea traditions, why Russians drink so much tea, why it's important in Russian culture, and what other social meaning Russian tea has.
Tea for Troy not only gave knowledge about tea from Russia, but students also had the opportunity to learn about Russian culture as well.
I would like students to get to know a little bit about Russian culture and to see what we brought in today, a Russian samovar, which is a traditional tea maker, to experience that.
The next Tea for Troy will be held April 9th in Hale Hall at 7 p.m. This is Brittany DeBose, TrojanVision News.
Tea for Troy happens every other Thursday, alternating with ISCO meetings.
Troy University's Confucius Institute helps spread knowledge about Chinese culture in America, and they do so in weekly Chinese Corner events. Courtney Chandler gives us a look at how the Institute used painting to help spread the culture.
On Thursday, students got the chance to experience a taste of Chinese culture as the Confucius Institute held the Chinese Corner in Bill Graves.
The Chinese Corner is a regular program of our Confucius Institute. We started 1.5 years ago, and our purpose is to promote Chinese culture. And each time, each session, we try to focus the different aspects of Chinese culture.
This week, students got a chance to work on some Chinese paintings and also learn Tai Chi.
We also have Tai Chi class, and Tai Chi class is something new on Troy campus, and we really started from last semester, but not very many people know about it. And however, from this semester on, we've got some of the students, and they're very much interested in it because practicing Tai Chi is really, really good for your health.
Xiong also tells why Tai Chi and Chinese paintings are very helpful for students through the Chinese Corner.
Well, from the Tai Chi class today, and for each class, we hope they will learn the movements, and they will know how to manage their qi in their body, and to help them to gain more energy and to be more healthy, live healthily.
This is Courtney Chandler, TrojanVision News.
The Chinese Corner events are held every Thursday at 3 p.m. at the Confucius Institute in Bibb Graves Hall. Troy University's Department of Theater and Dance puts on a number of shows throughout the year featuring Troy University students.
That's right, Samantha. However, there is a select group of those students who do some extra work behind the scenes of some of the theatrical productions. Brittany Thompson gives us a look in today's organizational spotlight.
Alpha Phi Omega is an organization that is centered around developing its 3 cardinal principles: leadership, friendship, and service.
We are an academic honor society for theater and dance in the theater and dance department. In April, we will be having an outdoor movie night in the Malone Courtyard, and we will also be selling goodie bags at the To Kill a Mockingbird performances in April.
Not only do Alpha Phi Omega's primary focus is to provide volunteer service throughout the campus and community, they also focus on volunteering in Troy University's theater department.
I
I really enjoy APO because it's a way for us to come together as a family once again in the Department of Theater and Dance, and it is a great way for us to honor each other in our academics and our success in the department.
Alpha Phi Omega is an organization that puts towards Troy University Theater Department. Alpha Phi Omega is currently working on a play, To Kill a Mockingbird. Here's a peek at what's next. To Kill a Mockingbird is known for its warmth and humor despite its issues of racial inequality. Immediately successful, winning the Pulitzer Prize, it has become a classic of modern American literature.
I think it's definitely going to be a huge success, especially with all the events that happened last year, with all the mixed race trials and just so much racial tension going on. I think this is definitely a play that people are going to come and look and view just for the sole purpose that it's just so oriented for our time right now.
Troy University's theater department, along with Alpha Phi Omega, will be performing To Kill a Mockingbird in the TC Theater April 15th through the 20th. I'm Brittany Thompson with TrojanVision News.
And that wraps up our Organization Spotlight series. The stories in the series were produced by the students in the Hall School of Journalism and Communications Television News Practicum class.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. A man who spent nearly 30 years on Alabama's death row has been released following a decades-long fight to prove his innocence. 58-year-old Anthony Ray Hinton was released this morning from an Alabama prison.
A lawsuit by an angry taxpayer says Huntsville officials promised $4.7 million in rebates to Cabela's outdoor superstore in order to bring the retailer to the city. Huntsville resident Carl Fallen contends in his lawsuit that city documents obtained through an open records request show Huntsville tried to obscure its role in paying incentives by passing rebates through a local developer.
And Tuscaloosa police say a 9-year-old boy is expected to survive after he was mauled by a neighbor's pit bull. The dog's owner, Christopher Guyton, was cited for violating the county's leash law.
Still to come on Troy TrojanVision News, the men's baseball team travels to North Carolina. Colin Cahill will have a preview of that and more in sports.
And we have the latest on nuclear talks with Iran. More on that after the break.
Mixed reaction to a nuclear deal with Iran. The administration calls it historic, while a U.S. ally calls it a recipe for disaster. I'm Craig Boswell at the White House. That's coming up.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Look at me. Hey. Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
The Troy baseball team heads to Boone, North Carolina to take on conference foe Appalachian State. This will be a 3-game series for the Trojans. Troy is currently 15-15 on the season with a conference record of 4-5. Troy currently sits at number 7 in the conference. Appalachian State has an overall record of 7-21 and a conference record of 2-10. App State is last place in the Sun Belt Conference. This will be the first time for the two teams to meet. The first pitch is scheduled for 5 p.m. in Boone, North Carolina. The Trojans will then play Saturday and Sunday to finish the series. The women's softball team will host the ULM Warhawks this weekend for a 3-game series. This will be the first meeting between the Trojans and the Warhawks this season. Head coach Beth Mullins talks about how it is nice to have a conference series at home.
I mean, I love being at home anytime. I think we have a great home record. We're 11-4 or 5 at home. I think we have a great crowd that comes out and supports our girls, and they love playing at home. So anytime we can be at home, it's a great thing for us. And obviously the Sun Belt, it's always going to be a dogfight every game you play, and so it's going to be a dogfight. I think ULM has a great program like anybody in the Sun Belt. So we're going to show up and give everything we got.
Trojans and the Warhawks are currently in an extra inning game tied 1-1. Then they will finish up the series tomorrow. The first game of the doubleheader was scheduled for this afternoon, and then the second will be just after 5 p.m. at the Troy softball complex. The Troy track and field team will travel to Auburn this weekend to compete in the Tiger Track Classic. The Trojans are coming off several strong performances during last weekend's competition at the UNF and Invite and hope to keep this success going. This will be the 5th outdoor competition for the team, and head coach Mark Davis says that he is expecting some good competition and that Troy will have to compete well.
Just getting ready for some big performances. We know that the competition is going to be tough. There's minimums in a lot of the events that we have, so we're looking forward to it. Though we just want to make sure kids are going in competing and not shying away from the competition.
The tournament features some highly touted competition, and in-state conference foe South Alabama will also be competing in Auburn. Troy will compete Friday and Saturday of this weekend. After winning the John Kirk Panther Classic this past weekend, the Troy women's golf team is gearing up for the conference tournament. Coach Bart Barnes talks about how it is great that the team is peaking at the right time heading into the conference championships.
We're peaking at the right time. Obviously, if we finally kind of finish a tournament off and get a win, then tells me that we're starting to play our best at kind of the right time. And, it's a big part of that. When you're talking about conference tournaments, it's 1 week and you got to have your best stuff. And so for us to be bringing our best stuff a little more consistently right now at the end of the season, obviously, is a big boost for me as well.
The conference tournament will span over 3 days and take place in Loxley, Alabama, where Steelwood Country Club will host. The Trojans are the defending Sun Belt Conference champions and were picked by Golf Week to repeat again this year. And finally, the nationally ranked men's golf team travels to Mississippi this weekend to compete in the last tournament of the season, hosted by Mississippi State. Head coach Matt Terry tells us about the level of competition that the Trojans will be up against.
Conference schools there, Lafayette will be there, and so will South Al, and the guys always put those guys on the mark. That's what we tried to do this past week, and weren't able to get it done against Georgia State. But we got 2 more conference schools there, and then we got 2 schools ranked ahead of us, and Florida ranked 37th, and then UAB ranked 32nd, which is another in-state rival. We want to make sure both those teams are playing well. We should get paired with them the first round, so we'll see what see what happens there. Hopefully, we'll get in there and get after those guys and have 3 good rounds of golf on Monday and Tuesday and come back here and get ready for conference.
This will be the final tournament of the regular season for the team. The Sun Belt Conference tournament will take place 2 weeks from now. The Trojans are the highest ranked team in the Sun Belt going into the last week of play.